Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland.
Are you trying to make us all uncomfortable?
Alan Cox.
It's gross, it's weird, it's not right, it's not cool.
And there's plenty more where that came from. Back to the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
But we saw
cutting the tempo in half. It really does get the girls moist.
Well, no, but
Like,
I'm just telling you, it's like a very
This is a really
no, but it's a good album. I mean, just for that kind of vibe, I think. But then again, she's kind of been off and on, and then people were dragging her because she kind of went dark for a while, and then like she put a bunch of weight on, and then people were giving her a hard time. But they announced that she's going to be doing some tour dates. We saw her at Austin City Limits in 2014. We were waiting for Eminem. It was like the year that Outkast reunited, and it was a great year. We used to go to ACL every year. 2014 was Eminem, and that's primarily why Gwen wanted to go. But Lana Del Rey had been on, and she drew this massive, massive crowd because people were just very curious about what was going on with her. And she's out there in like a poodle skirt, and she's singing, and I was transfixed by that woman. Anyway, for people who pay attention to Lana Del Rey, she's doing about a dozen dates, and the only one in the the only one in the Midwest is going to be in Pittsburgh. For people who care about that, she's going to do Star Lake, which is like Pittsburgh's Blossom out there in Burgettstown. But if she's not on your radar, you might want to dip in a little bit. Listen, you're a Black Keys fan. If it was good enough for Dan Auerbach 10 years ago, then maybe it'd be good enough for you. But again, she's not on everybody's radar, and she certainly wasn't on mine until I saw her live. And again, that's what I like. I like when you can walk away from seeing someone perform live and go, man, you know what? That's pretty legit. Because everybody can slag you or knock you down, and it can go the other way too. Mm-hmm. You can hear a band you love, and you go see them live, and you go, I hope they had an off night. Like
Rise Against.
I hope that's an off night. Well, you didn't like all their talking.
Yes.
Yeah, they're too chatty for you.
Too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah. But there's nothing better than walking away from maybe someone that you've heard a variety of things about, whether it's a band or a solo artist, and you go, man. And that was how I walked away from Lana Del Rey, because I was fully prepared. I'm standing there with my arms crossed. I had prejudged.
And by the time he was done, he moved from his arms crossed to them on his thighs, drumming along a little.
No.
And that's big for Alan.
Swaying in the air,
with
Bill.
my
Parliament.
Up and swaying?
Yes.
No.
My Parliament was on fire and my arms were up, just like in the song. That's right. I had started smoking Parliaments. And then, of course, Eminem. Unbelievable. Fantastic. And seeing Outkast live, it was just great. Chef recommends.
Did Outkast play Hey Ya?
You know what, Bill? It's funny that you mentioned that. They did play Hey Ya.
Cool. That's a good song.
But they have a lot of other good songs.
I know, but I like that one.
That was the only time I ever saw Childish Gambino live.
How was that?
It was okay. Whatever.
I think he's an incredible talent.
Donald Glover?
Yeah, I think he's very funny. He's a great writer. He's got all these different plates. But I think the fact that he does so many things, he never put his full ass into one thing. On those projects he does. But he's just very interesting.
You want him to go whole-assed into something, not half-assed, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Right.
I think that I am.
Well, I mean, I feel like he does go whole ass into everything, but he just... what I'm saying is, he's good. And I like him.
No, listen, I'm still curious, and I think we're all guilty of doing it maybe. I know I am, but I'm still curious what the compulsion is for people to want performers and artists to just do one thing. It's like you'll have somebody who's an actor, but then they put out an album, and then they're doing something else. People are like, oh, what, they just think blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, listen, if they're a creative person, let them do whatever they want to do.
And they have the talent to do it.
I mean, not everybody does.
Right.
Some people but that's where you learn your limits.
Mm-hmm.
But I
think that is going away a little bit because, first of all, from my generation on, we were raised on Disney kids that were singers and actors and all that stuff. So
Yep.
like they were checking all those boxes.
But that was a machine too.
Right. But I
yeah.
mean, that's kind of how entertainment is, even without the machine behind it. I think
Right.
there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm multi-talented. I'm going to do as much stuff as I can.
Right.
Because why not?
No, I agree. I mean, these days, everybody's got to hustle. Alan, the ultimate panty moistener you know is Wesley Willis. I played some Wesley Willis on Friday. Cut the mullet. It's not for everybody, of course. But again, you know, we were talking about Bill playing the Herb Alpert music at Squifle Tower.
Yeah, that's the pool music.
That's pool music, right?
Yeah,
But
so
Lana
many
Del Rey,
compliments,
you know, you want to expand the playlist. I assume you're not playing just Herb Alpert.
I mean,
Cool.
it's a Herb Alpert heavy. Like I don't know. It's just, I just go on Spotify and
Never heard of
play
it.
I go on this app.
iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, no.
If only we could do
Yeah.
that on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
iHeartRadio, why don't you work on that?
And I just, what is the, get out of here. And I just
Are you
play
okay?
the, this is Herb Alpert in the Tijuana Brass channel and just let that, and it's not even like a station. It's just like a playlist. But there's a lot more covers than I thought there was going to be in there, which are pretty funny.
All country
when,
music?
when they show up. No, it's not all country music, but like Eastbound and Down.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Greatest American Heroes theme song, like that. Like it,
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
yeah, something
George
like that.
is in
all
at
my
home.
loving. That's all. Beatles. Like there's some stuff like that, but
You know what?
and the thing is, you don't even because all the songs are kind of similar, so it's just like a constant noise that you can kind of shake your hips to a little bit, but it doesn't overpower what's going on at the pool because we're all having conversations. There's other people at the pool doing their thing, and so I don't want it to be, annoying to people.
Gotcha. All I'm saying is if you mix a little bit of Lana Del Rey into your pool mix, you're going to get a lot of this.
My vagina said what?
Yeah. And that's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, my pool mix is a little bit different. Mary would probably like my pool mix. It's some of this stuff and,
You are wrong. Incorrect.
No, because, I mean, it's when it's really, really hot out, you need some appropriately
Something that's
hot
going to
metal.
aggravate you
And
even further.
Well, but then you get to dip. Yeah, you're already hot, and then you get upset. And then it just makes that dip into the nice, cool pool all the better. And then, fortunately for me, it drives everyone else away. Mm-hmm. So then I get my own nice little corner of
Pool by yourself.
the pool that I never go to. Hey.
When Brian was laying in his little zero depth entry part of the pool, he was planning all the things for our pool that we don't have. He was like, I don't think I would need all this stuff if we had a pool. I was like, you mean like dumping buckets and water guns? Yeah, this isn't at-home pool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, these are not things people have in their backyard. He's like, yeah, but I like this. Like, ease into it. I like this zero depth entry. So that if and when we ever get an in-ground pool, you better believe it's going to have a little area you can lounge Burt Reynolds style.
Yeah, Gwen has asked me repeatedly to appeal to the city council where we live to find out if we are zoned to turn our backyard into a lazy river.
There you go.
No, that's.
And I go,
I love a lazy river.
nobody wants to work anymore.
Mm-hmm. Even rivers. Even rivers are lazy.
Even rivers.
Even rivers are lazy in Biden's
Yeah.
America.
That's right. Thanks, Obama. So I go, I'm almost positive, and that would be probably prohibitively expensive to do that too.
You can afford it.
I'm sorry?
You can afford it. You're
A lazy
millionaire.
river? Yeah, I'd rather point my largesse to something different than
That's
a,
just
What
how
the
white
wife
folks will
wants.
do you.
The wife wants a lazy river.
Happy
She
wife,
should
happy
get
life.
a lazy river.
Yeah, well, Gwen will be the first one to tell you she doesn't get a lot of things that she would like. Nobody does. Because the spirit of any solid marriage is what?
Compromise.
Compromise.
Blech.
That's right. Bill- Blech. No, listen, you're a single dude. You don't
have to
need to
compromise.
but you don't need to compromise. No one's expecting you to compromise.
It's one of the best parts about being single.
Yes.
Doing whatever you want.
Whenever you want to do it.
And have nobody to answer to.
That's right. Alan, what's the CLE clothing discount for August? Anybody remember?
Flash.
Flash. Yes, as in Gordon or whatever else you want. Flash, yeah. You get 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. And there's only 10 days remaining in the month. And then, if history is any guide, we will go into September, which, of course, will be Labor Day weekend and the whole bit. If you want to leave us messages, you certainly can. The After Hours line. We get a lot of late-night calls over there. It's 216-986-8903.
Alan Cox, man. We're about to buy Drunk Sue's monster truck, man. We're sitting out here on her porch. Here, she wants to say hi.
Hey, baby. I just wanted you to know that we're having fun. We're just sitting out here getting a little bit of buzz on. All right? Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
All right. Love you, man. See ya.
Oh, so there you go. Whoever, whatever unfortunate souls bought Drunk Sue's pickup truck.
She called a few,
What?
was that months ago or weeks ago?
No, she called like a few weeks ago. She's like,
Okay.
hey, I don't hear, it was like a big pickup truck, though. I don't remember her referring to it as a monster truck. I'm not sure where
No,
that came from, but
But
that
the more
lady
she
was.
talked about it, the more she was like, well, it only needs this and that and that
Yup.
and this
Yeah,
and
need
that.
a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like maybe she sold it to somebody she already knew, or, I mean, you know, if you were going to buy a truck for somebody, would you just sit around getting drunk with them?
Maybe.
Would
Yeah,
you?
I think so. If you're buying a truck that doesn't work from somebody, you're gonna stick around and be like, let's have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it needed like a transmission or something. Didn't it need like a big part
It
in order
needed
to make it
yeah,
run?
it needed a lot of stuff. So yeah, I don't know what they ended up buying, and I don't know what kind of deal they got on it either. But Stephen Canton asking if Brian had a live, laugh, splash sign at the pool.
Oh, we better. I hope maybe that's how I'll decorate it. It'll be all
Decorate
it'll be
what?
like our pool. Or he means did he bring a live, laugh,
Did
splash?
he bring a
No.
live, laugh, splash sign
did not.
there? Okay.
But you know what he did do? He finished the bathroom this weekend with the wallpaper. I came home from my shows at the Funny Stop on last week. I was talking about how we were going to do the wallpaper, and it didn't almost ruin our relationship, but
Put a serious strain on it.
well, he has OCD, so things need to be literally exactly 100% perfect before he's satisfied with it. Whereas I'm more like, no one is going to notice this little bubble or this little chip or whatever it is. No one is paying that much attention. It's fine. So we did probably probably about 5 panels together before we had to call it a night when we worked on it together. And then I came home from my shows at the Funny Stop Friday night at 1 a.m, and he was in the bathroom. It looks amazing. I'll have to post it on my story.
Yeah, he
later
needed to
tonight.
be left alone to do it per his specifications.
Right, but it's 12:45, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I've been in here for 5 hours. Like,
Yeah.
That's all he did that
You got
entire
that
night.
focus.
Once you
Yeah.
get started,
Yeah.
you can't stop.
Hyper fixated. The only thing it needs like some paint touch-ups in a couple places, but other than that, it looks really, really nice. And I told him,
that. You're gonna trigger his OCD.
no, he already knows. He was gonna do it that night, and I was like, "Get out of the bathroom, dude! You've been in here for 6 hours. Go. Did you eat? Did you pee? Did you have a drink of water? Like,
No,
you
it's
need
been
to
quiet.
right? Well, because we
You
didn't
need
have
that
his,
kind of quiet to do, and I bet he didn't have music on or anything.
no.
It was probably dead quiet in the house.
We didn't have Blake on Friday. She stayed at her mom's an extra night because she had like a birthday party to go to. So I was out of town. I was having shows. Blake was at her mom's, so he literally did have complete silence.
That's what
in
I'm
the
saying. You probably
house.
could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
He hears you pull in. He's like, oh, God.
Yeah, but it was 1
I gotta
in the
stop.
morning. I
Yeah,
was like,
well, you can't
gotta-
stop.
You gotta go to bed, man.
You
Like,
can't
you-
work
stop.
to do.
It's not 4 in the morning. I mean, 1 in the morning is not a crazy time to be up on a Friday night,
But
on a
he-
Saturday night.
On a Friday night, he got home from work, so he had been up since 5 o'clock that morning, worked an entire shift, cut the grass, pulled his weeds, did his garden work, and then came inside and worked in the bathroom
Yes.
for 5
It
hours.
obviously worked out for him. I don't know.
It is amazing what guys can get done when they're just left to their own devices. It's unbelievable what they can get done.
Let's not set that standard, please.
Bill, it's amazing what you
I'm by
can
myself
get done.
all the time, and I don't get stuff done.
What you can get done on your own. Yeah, but you don't have a lot of things you need to get done, probably.
There's a lot of stuff I could do that I haven't done. My studio where I used to do my podcast before I moved down here is just clutter right now. I need to get that, and I'm a little behind on the shoe storage, so I need to build some of those up so I can put more shoes away.
This little half bath that we have was like the last thing in the house that was on our list that needed to get done, other than getting the roof, right? So there was a couple little places where we needed to find some. We got a couple little cute plant hangers that my cousin made for us. So pretty much the house is done. The interior of the house, everything's great. He finished the bathroom, and then Sunday, I think it was yesterday morning, we're cleaning up after breakfast, and he's like looking down and bending over real far down in the kitchen. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, these floorboards, man, they just, I'm telling you, they're scuffed up. I was like, dude, we just finished all the projects. Like, don't start looking around.
There's always new projects.
That's the thing.
Always new projects.
He's like, I'm not saying we got to do it now, but like, we got to do this. I said, we just finished our list. Our list for the interior is complete. Don't start inspecting floorboards. Let's just live without a list for a couple months,
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do that.
Gwen will see me like walking in the backyard with my tape measure. She'll be like, "What are you doing now?
What are you measuring? What do you think that we need?"
I bought one of those roller tape things.
Yeah, the click, click, click thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, to see how large my backyard is specifically, because I'm having a soil test done, and I had to know how large the back. So I had to buy like
for
one
the
of those.
lazy river.
I'm sorry.
Is this for the lazy river?
This is not for the lazy river. No,
Yeah, lazy river.
Nope. It's for a hard-working
Not that I would
waterway.
be invited over, but I still want it for Gwen.
I mean, I'll send you pictures.
There you go. It's just like being there.
But yeah, there's always something new to do.
That's Brian.
If you're a
T.
homeowner.
To a T, that is Brian.
Yeah.
Well, and we're going to get the roof, and then he's talking about, what if we put a patio in the back or a deck? And I was like, when I moved in here, you said we would be here for 3 to 5 years, okay? If you start improving this crap, you're never going to leave.
Interesting that he put it in the jargon of a prison term.
That's how I put it.
Barry's like, I'm going to be here probably 3 to 5, maybe?
I said
or...
2. And he's like, I moved in. He bought the house in 2020. I moved in 2022. And I was like, we'll stay here for 2 more years. And he was like, I have to have this house for at least 5 years. He's like, so we'll stay here for 3, maybe 5. And I was like, we'll stay here for 3. And then now
Baby, I want us to have life sentence together.
Well, that's fine. But now he's talking about these and I told him, I said, if you get a patio or a deck and a brand new roof and a brand new driveway and a this and a that, I was like, you will never leave this house. And I think he's just slowly chipping away, trying to make that happen.
Yeah, but you're adding value to the house.
But he's never
Every
gonna
single
sell
one
it.
of those things is adding value to the house.
Right, but he's never going to sell it. If he gets it to exactly what he wants it to be, then we're going to be there forever.
And you don't want that.
I don't want that. It's too small.
All right. Okay, I got to take a break here. Hey, you want to go see Nick Offerman? I'm going to have those tickets for you shortly as well. Well, let's do them now. You know what? Poundcake's out, so I'll be taking the winners here. Nick Offerman is doing like a spoken word, it's not stand-up, but Nick Offerman. He's going to come through and talk about some things, and you can be there for that show. It's going to go down at the Connor Palace at Playhouse Square. Friday, September 29th is when the show is going to happen. You can go to playhousesquare.org, and I'll have a couple of tickets here for caller 10. Okay, so good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
This is the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.